Hey, list of fans! Ever stop to think about the weird things we say every single day? Phrases like bite the bullet or spill the beans trot off our tongues without a second thought. But what if I told you these common expressions have backstories so wild, so unexpected, they'd make a history textbook blush? Today, we're diving deep into the linguistic rabbit hole, unearthing the bizarre and fascinating origins of 7 everyday phrases. Prepare to have your mind mildly blown, your curiosity piqued, and maybe even a chuckle or two. This is List Of, and it's time to talk about words. Kicking us off at number 7, we have a phrase we often use when we're ready to face a tough situation head-on: to bite the bullet. Today, it means to accept an unpleasant situation and endure it. But the original context was far more literal and a lot less pleasant. Imagine pre-anesthesia battlefields. A soldier is wounded, surgery is imminent, and the pain is going to be excruciating. What's a medic to do? Hand the poor soul a lead bullet and tell them to clamp down on it. Why a bullet? Well, it was clean, readily available, and hard enough to prevent the patient from biting off their tongue or screaming too much. Plus, the act of biting down hard could provide a focal point, a distraction from the unimaginable pain. So the next time you bite the bullet on a difficult task, just be glad your boss isn't handing you actual ammunition. Moving on to number 6, a phrase often whispered backstage: break a leg. If you've ever wished an actor good luck, you've probably uttered this rather violent-sounding idiom. Oddly, it means the exact opposite of what it sounds like. Good luck, specifically for a performance. The origins here are steeped in theatrical superstition. Back in the day, wishing someone good luck was considered bad luck, so actors developed euphemisms. One popular theory suggests it referred to the leg line or leg drops, the curtains on either side of the stage. If an actor performed well enough to be called back for an encore, they'd break the plane of these curtains to take another bow. Another theory suggests it relates to bowing or curtsying so deeply that you might literally break a leg, or at least bend it dramatically. Personally, I prefer to imagine a particularly enthusiastic stage manager just really wanting people to get on stage no matter what. Don't worry, no actual bones are broken in the making of this phrase. At number 5, we have an expression that gets straight to the point: spill the beans. When you accidentally or intentionally reveal a secret, you've spilled the beans. This one takes us back to ancient Greece, where transparent voting boxes and secret ballots were not quite the norm. In ancient Greek societies, particularly in clubs or councils, voting wasn't done with paper and pencils. Instead, members would often use beans. A white bean might signify a yes vote, a black or colored bean a no. These beans would be placed into a jar. If the jar was accidentally or intentionally tipped over before the count, all the votes, all the secrets of who voted for what would be spilled. Effectively, the results or the secret information would be revealed prematurely. So next time someone asks you to spill the beans, just make sure you're not actually holding Grecian legumes. Our 4th phrase is one that implies completeness: the whole 9 yards. When something is done thoroughly, or every possible thing is included, we say we've gone the whole 9 yards. But 9 yards of what? This one has generated more theories than a conspiracy convention. There are theories involving everything from the length of fabric for a fancy dress to the capacity of a ready-mix concrete truck. But one of the most compelling and dramatic theories comes from World War II. It's believed to refer to the length of the ammunition belt in a fighter aircraft, particularly the Browning machine guns used by American planes. When a pilot fired all his machine gun ammo, he literally used the whole 9 yards of bullets. So next time you give it your whole 9 yards on a project, just imagine you're a fighter pilot emptying your clip on a spreadsheet. Coming in at number 3, a phrase with a surprisingly morbid origin: saved by the bell. We often use it when we're rescued from a difficult situation just in the nick of time. While it's commonly associated with boxing, where a bell ringing can save a fighter from a knockout, its older, darker roots are far more chilling. Imagine a time before modern medicine when misdiagnosed deaths were unfortunately common. People had a very real fear of being buried alive. To prevent this horrifying fate, some elaborate and slightly macabre systems were devised. Coffins would sometimes be fitted with a string connected to a bell on the surface, above ground. If the deceased happened to wake up inside their coffin, they could pull the string and the ringing bell would alert someone to their predicament, hopefully leading to their rescue. talk about a wake-up call. So next time you're saved by the bell, be thankful it's just the end of a meeting and not the end of your life in a wooden box. Our second to last phrase, at number 2, reveals a cunning trick. Let the cat out of the bag. Like spill the beans, this means to reveal a secret, often accidentally. But the origin involves a bit of old-fashioned market fraud. Back in the day, dishonest merchants would sometimes try to trick unsuspecting buyers at market. A common scam involved selling a pig in a poke. A poke was an old word for a bag. The buyer would think they were getting a valuable piglet, but when they let the cat out of the bag, they discovered they'd been sold a much less valuable and squealing stray cat instead. The secret, or the scam, was revealed quite literally when the contents of the bag were exposed. It makes you wonder how many people actually fell for that. Always check your groceries, folks! And finally, at number 1, a phrase that sounds grim but has surprisingly mundane origins. To kick the bucket. It's a euphemism for dying, often used in a slightly informal or even humorous way. But where does this peculiar image come from? While some theories involve suicide by standing on a bucket and kicking it away, the most widely accepted and less morbid explanation connects to animal slaughter. When pigs or other livestock were being slaughtered, they were often hung upside down by their feet from a beam. This beam was sometimes referred to as a bucket, or baquette in Old French, meaning a balance or beam. As the animal struggled and convulsed in its final moments, its legs would literally kick the bucket or the beam it was suspended from. So, the next time you hear someone kick the bucket, remember it might just be a very old reference to a struggling farm animal, not someone doing a dramatic stage dive into the hereafter. And there you have it. 7 everyday phrases with some truly wild and unexpected origins. From ancient Greek voting systems to World War II fighter planes, and from medieval market scams to desperate attempts to avoid being buried alive, the stories behind our words are often stranger and funnier than fiction. It just goes to show that language isn't static. It's a living, breathing history book, full of forgotten tales and hidden meanings. So, the next time you hear an odd phrase, take a moment to wonder, what historical secret is it trying to tell you? If you enjoyed this linguistic journey, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the List of channel for more fascinating insights, and hit that notification bell so you never miss another deep dive. Let us know in the comments which phrase origin surprised you the most, or if there are other everyday expressions you'd love us to explore. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next list.